how does a mushroom mega factory process millions of mushrooms? It all begins in climate-controlled growing rooms where rows of mushrooms flourish in carefully managed conditions. Mushroom cultivation is a skill refined over centuries and supercharged by modern technology. Unlike traditional crops that start with seeds planted in soil, mushroom farming begins with spores, microscopic reproductive units that are the fungal equivalent of seeds. The process starts with creating substrate, the growing medium for mushrooms. This substrate is a carefully formulated mix of composted agricultural materials for many commercially grown mushrooms, like the popular white button variety. Think of enormous piles of straw, horse manure, chicken litter, and other organic materials carefully layered and mixed. This compost isn't just thrown together. It's a precisely controlled process monitored by experts who understand that the quality of the substrate directly influences the quality and yield of the mushrooms. As the compost ferments, it goes through a series of temperature changes, each encouraging the growth of different beneficial microorganisms. These microbes break down the raw materials, creating the perfect nutritional environment for mushroom growth. The art of composting is so crucial that many large-scale mushroom operations have dedicated composting facilities, ensuring a consistent, high-quality growing medium. Once the compost reaches the ideal state, it's time for spawning. Mushroom spawn is the mushroom's root system, grown on sterilized grains like rye or millet. This spawn is carefully mixed into the prepared compost in sterile conditions in state-of-the-art facilities. The inoculated compost is then packed into long-growing trays or beds, ready for the magic of mushroom growth to begin. The next stage is colonization, where the mycelia, the vegetative part of the fungus, spread throughout the compost. This process takes place in specially designed growing rooms where temperature, humidity, and carbon dioxide levels are precisely controlled. Modern mushroom farms use sophisticated environmental control systems, often computer-controlled, to maintain optimal conditions 24/7. After colonization comes casing, a layer of peat moss and limestone spread over the colonized compost. This casing layer holds moisture and provides the physical environment for mushrooms to form. As if by magic, but really due to carefully manipulated environmental triggers, tiny pinhead-sized mushrooms appear on the casing layer's surface. These pins rapidly develop into button mushrooms, doubling in size every 24 hours. Harvesting is a labor-intensive process, often done by hand, to ensure quality and prevent damage to the delicate mushrooms. Skilled pickers move through the growing rooms, carefully twisting and pulling mature mushrooms from the beds. It's a continuous process. Mushrooms don't all mature at once, and a single bed may be picked over several times during its productive cycle. As soon as they're picked, the clock starts ticking. Mushrooms are incredibly perishable. Every moment counts in preserving their freshness and quality. That's why large refrigerated trucks stand ready at the farm, waiting to whisk the freshly harvested mushrooms to the processing facility as quickly as possible. The journey from farm to factory is carefully orchestrated to minimize time and maintain optimal temperature, ensuring that only the freshest mushrooms make it to processing. As the trucks roll into the mushroom mega factory, the air fills with the earthy aroma of fresh mushrooms, a scent that promises culinary delights to come. The receiving area is the first stop for our mushrooms. Here, each shipment is quickly inspected and logged. Quality control begins immediately. Trained inspectors check random samples for size, color, and overall quality. Any subpar batches are flagged for closer inspection or alternative processing routes. This initial check ensures that only the best mushrooms continue down the main processing line. Next, our mushrooms head to the cleaning station. Despite the controlled environment of modern mushroom farms, some dirt and debris are inevitable. Large washing machines gently tumble the mushrooms in cool water, removing any lingering bits of casing soil or compost. Some facilities also use air cleaning systems, blowing away any loose debris. The goal is spotless mushrooms without damaging their delicate structure. After cleaning, the mushrooms ride on conveyor belts past another quality control checkpoint. Here, high-speed cameras and artificial intelligence systems scan each mushroom, identifying any with blemishes, unusual colors, or non-standard shapes. These advanced systems can process thousands of mushrooms per minute, far outpacing what human inspectors could achieve alone. But we are not done yet. Now comes a crucial decision point in our mushroom megafactory, determining the destiny of each batch of mushrooms. Will they be packaged fresh, sliced, dried, canned? Each path requires different equipment and processes, and it's here that the true flexibility and efficiency of a modern mushroom processing facility become apparent. Let's follow a batch destined for fresh packaging first. These mushrooms move to a sorting and grading station, separated by size. Specialized machines with vibrating belts and precisely sized openings gently separate the mushrooms into small, medium, and large categories. This ensures that when you open a package of whole mushrooms, they're consistently sized, a small detail that makes a big difference in presentation and cooking. But what about those mushrooms destined for slicing? They take a different path through the factory. After initial cleaning and inspection, these mushrooms head to the slicing area. Here, incredibly sharp, high-speed slicing machines make quick work of whole mushrooms. Spinning blades can slice hundreds of mushrooms per minute into perfectly even pieces. The thickness of the slices can be adjusted to meet different product specifications. Thin slices for pizza toppings and thicker ones for grilling. Throughout all these processes, our mushroom megafactory maintains strict quality control. Regular samples are taken at each production stage and tested for everything from microbial contamination to texture, flavor, and nutritional content. Advanced laboratories on site can quickly identify any issues, allowing immediate corrective action if needed. But the innovation doesn't stop at traditional products. The rising interest in plant-based diets has opened up new opportunities for mushroom products. In a separate wing of the facility, mushrooms are being transformed into meat alternatives. Here, mushrooms, particularly varieties like portobello or oyster mushrooms with their meaty textures, are finely chopped and combined with other plant-based ingredients to create burger patties, sausages, and other meat-like products. This process involves specialized equipment that can finely control the texture of the mushroom mixture. Extrusion technology, similar to that used in some pasta production, can create fibrous structures that mimic the texture of meat. These products then go through their own set of quality control checks, ensuring they meet the standards for texture, flavor, and nutritional content that consumers expect from meat alternatives. You see, the mushroom factory never sleeps. As one batch of mushrooms completes its journey through processing, another is just beginning. It's a continuous cycle of growth, harvest, and transformation, all aimed at bringing the mushroom to tables around the world in myriad forms. Cucumber pickles made in factory. From the ancient Mesopotamians, who first pickled cucumbers in 2030 BC to preserve them for long journeys, to the pickle enthusiast at the world's largest pickle festival in Atkins, Arkansas, this humble vegetable has traveled through time and across continents. Pickles are more than just a flavorful snack. They offer a range of health benefits such as vitamins A and K, and fermented varieties even provide probiotics that promote gut health. So, how are cucumber pickles made in a factory on such a massive scale? The journey of your favorite cucumber pickles begins in vast agricultural fields, where row after row of vibrant green vines stretch towards the sun. These are no ordinary cucumbers. They're specially cultivated varieties, hand-picked for their ideal size, shape, and texture for pickling. Cucumber farming is an art form in itself. Unlike the cucumbers you might find in your salad, pickling cucumbers are tended with a meticulous eye. Farmers carefully monitor soil conditions, irrigation, and pests to ensure their crop thrives. They even use specialized trellises to elevate the cucumbers, preventing them from becoming misshapen as they grow. As the cucumbers mature, they're meticulously harvested at just the right stage of ripeness. The skilled farmhands move through the fields, gently plucking each cucumber and placing it in collection bins with the utmost care. Once harvested, the cucumbers travel to the processing facility, where the real magic of pickle making begins. The first stop for our cucumbers is the quality control station. Here, trained inspectors examine each batch, looking for any flaws or blemishes that could affect the final product. They're also checking for the perfect size, shape, and firmness. Only the best cucumbers will make it to pickling. After passing inspection, the cucumbers move on to the washing station. Large rotating drums gently tumble the fruit, removing any dirt, debris, or pesticide residue. Now it's time for the cucumbers to take a dip.
No.
Not in brine just yet. First, they need to be sorted by size. Specialized machines use vibrating screens to separate the cucumbers into different size categories. This ensures that each jar or pouch of pickles contains a uniform shape and size, creating that signature visual appeal. Pickles are made using a variety of techniques, with the two most common methods being fermentation and vinegar-based pickling. Fermentation involves allowing cucumbers to soak in a salty brine where natural bacteria transform sugars into lactic acid, creating a tangy, complex flavor while preserving the vegetable. Vinegar-based pickling, on the other hand, uses vinegar and spices to quickly achieve that characteristic sour taste. Each method imparts a unique texture and flavor to the pickles, catering to different palates around the world. Whether it's the crisp bite of a vinegar brine dill pickle or the deep, zesty notes of a fermented variety, there's a pickle style for everyone. With the cucumbers sorted, it's time for the brine. This seasoned mixture of water, vinegar, salt, and spices is the key to transforming fresh cucumbers into crunchy, flavorful pickles. The exact recipe is a closely guarded trade secret, with each producer tweaking the formula to create their unique flavor profile. The cucumbers are carefully packed into large vats or barrels, where the brine is added. It's a delicate balancing act. Too much brine and the pickles will be overpowering. Too little, and they won't pickle properly. Skilled workers monitor the process, testing the brine's pH and adjusting the recipe to ensure perfect pickles. As the cucumbers soak in their flavorful bath, a remarkable transformation begins. The acid in the vinegar and the salt in the brine work their magic, causing the cucumbers to release their moisture and firm up. Enzymes in the cucumbers also start to break down, creating that signature pickle crunch. The brine vats are climate-controlled environments that are kept at precise temperatures to optimize pickling. Sensors constantly monitor the brine, ensuring the perfect balance of acidity and salinity. It's a delicate dance, with workers making minute adjustments to the recipe as needed. This level of control separates mass-produced pickles from the artisanal batch versions. Every jar is guaranteed to have that signature crunch and flavor profile. But the pickle-making process continues. The brined cucumbers may undergo additional steps depending on the desired final product. Some producers add spices or flavorings to the brine, creating specialty pickle varieties like dill, bread and butter, or spicy versions. Others may remove the cucumbers from the brine after a certain period and subject them to a pasteurization process. This step, which involves heating the pickles to a high temperature and then rapidly cooling them, helps extend the product's shelf life and ensures food safety. After the pickling and additional processing are complete, the cucumbers are ready for packaging. This is where the assembly line kicks into high gear. Automated fill and seal machines work tirelessly, filling jars, pouches, or cans with the perfect amount of pickles and brine and rapidly sealing them shut. But even at this late stage, quality control remains a top priority. Random packages are pulled from the line and tested for everything from brine concentration to texture and flavor. If anything is amiss, the batch is put on hold for further inspection and potential reworking. Once the packaged pickles pass their final checks, they can be shipped to stores and distribution centers worldwide. From there, they'll make their way to the shelves of your local grocery store, waiting to be scooped up by pickle enthusiasts everywhere. But the packaging process isn't just about speed and efficiency. Pickle producers also put a lot of thought into the aesthetics of their products. From classic glass jars that showcase the vibrant green pickles to colorful pouches that jump off the shelves, the packaging is designed to capture the consumer's attention and whet their appetite.
After all,
the first bite starts with the eyes, and pickle makers know that a visually appealing package can make all the difference in today's competitive grocery aisles.
And there you have it.
This is how cucumber pickles are made in a factory on a massive scale.
Rocher, smooth chocolate, crunchy hazelnut.
Friendly warning, you're going to want to eat some Ferrero Rocher chocolate later. So, how is Ferrero Rocher chocolate made in a factory? The making of these golden delicacies consists of two main steps that we're going to dive straight into now. Step 1. We need cocoa beans to make Ferrero Rocher chocolate. Do you know where Ferrero Rocher gets its cocoa beans from? Well, the cocoa beans come mainly from Ghana and the Ivory Coast. And fun fact, just these two countries alone account for roughly 65% of the world cocoa production.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it? Cocoa trees are very delicate and sensitive and require high rainfall as well as high temperatures to grow. With proper care and love by the hard-working farmers, pods containing cocoa beans grow from the trunk and branches of the cocoa trees. The farmers use long-handled steel tools to reach the pods and cut them to avoid damaging the soft bark of the tree. The farmers manually collect the pods in baskets. After harvesting, the farmers remove the beans from the pods and heap them into piles, and they are then covered by banana leaves for at least 3 to 7 days. During this time, a layer of pulp naturally forms on the beans, and this layer helps to heat and ferment the beans. This ensures optimum cocoa quality, and thus the best cocoa taste to delight your taste buds. Not only this, but the beans have to be dried in the sun for several days before they can be packed into sacks, and, the most awaited part, sent to warehouses and ultimately to the factory. Step 2. What happens to the cocoa beans in the factory, and how are they made into your favorite Ferrero Rocher chocolate?
This is a very confusing time in my life.
The cocoa beans are sorted to remove undesirable items such as small stones or sticks that could be present in the sacks. After sorting the beans comes the roasting part. Roasting the cocoa beans is very important. This is because the roasting process kills any bacteria that could be present in the beans so that you do not get poisoned by eating chocolate, and it also enhances the flavor even more. It is also interesting to note that roasting can be done on the whole beans or just on the nib. Nib is the crushed pieces of the cacao beans that you get after shelling, that is, after removing the outer layer of the beans. Now the fun part. To make Ferrero Rocher chocolate, the nibs are ground to produce fine cocoa liqueur, which is then mixed with cocoa butter and sugar. This mixture is then refined to give a smooth and buttery texture. Now, we all know that hazelnuts are the signature ingredients of Ferrero Rocher. So, now that the initial chocolate making has been taken care of, we need to look at our hazelnuts. In the factory, the hazelnuts are first sorted so that the Ferrero Rochers that we eat have the best hazelnuts in them. After sorting, the hazelnuts are going to be put aside so that they can later be dropped into the chocolates using state-of-the-art machines. Now that the hazelnuts have been taken care of, it's time to make wafer sheet molds that'll be needed to give Ferrero Rocher chocolates their unique shape. Thousands of these wafer sheet molds hitch onto a large steel conveyor belt straight into a gas oven. And after a few minutes of baking, these now crispy golden brown wafer sheet molds emerge, ready for their deliciousness. However, the wafer sheets need some time to cool down before they can be filled with tasty, tasty chocolate. After the wafer sheets have cooled, melted chocolate made from the finest cocoa beans that we saw earlier will now be dipped into the wafers. As you can see, once the wafers have been filled with chocolate, the hazelnuts are in turn then dipped into the chocolate. To get the Ferrero Rocher chocolate round ball shape, 2 wafer sheets are clamped together. And this now will be sent for cutting, so that we only get the round, chocolatey balls that you love so much. But we're not done yet.
No.
Once we get the round wafer balls, they are further bathed in melted chocolate as they cruise along the conveyor belt. And then, our little spheres of joy are mixed with crushed pieces of hazelnuts to get what we all know as Ferrero Rocher chocolate. It's a pretty sight, yeah? After a final chocolate coating, the Ferrero Rocher chocolates enter a cooling tunnel. This important step allows the chocolate to set properly, ensuring a perfect snap when you bite it. This cooling process is carefully controlled, with temperatures and timing precisely calibrated to achieve the ideal texture. As the chocolates emerge from the tunnel, they're not just delicious, they're also structurally sound, ready to withstand the rigors of packing and transportation while maintaining their distinctive shape and layers. This attention to detail in the cooling process is another example of the craftsmanship that goes into every Ferrero Rocher. Next, these delicious Ferrero Rocher chocolate balls are whisked away to a high-speed machine that wraps them in that signature gold foil that you are so familiar with. It's like watching thousands of tiny golden presents being wrapped in seconds. You will also be pleased to know that before the Ferrero Rocher chocolates are sent out of the factory, quality checks are performed to ensure that faithful customers get the best Ferrero chocolate. Come to think of it, personally, I have never eaten a bad Ferrero Rocher before. Have you? Well, it's time for me to go munch on one of these now. So until next time, take care.
How are banana chips made in factory? The story of these bags of chips begins in tropical plantations, where rows upon rows of banana trees stretch as far as the eye can see. But these aren't your regular banana trees, and the fruit they bear isn't destined for your morning cereal. The bananas used for chips are of the Saba or Nendrin variety, prized for their starchy flesh and strong flavor that stands up well to processing. Our journey starts in these verdant fields, where skilled and hardworking farmers carefully tend to the banana plants. The plants need just the right amount of sunlight, water, and nutrients to produce fruit with the ideal starch content for chip making. As the bananas grow, they're closely monitored. Unlike bananas meant for fresh consumption, which are harvested when they're still green, bananas for chips are allowed to ripen on the tree. This extra time allows the starches to develop fully. This is important for creating that perfect crunch in the final product. When the bananas reach just the right level of ripeness, it's harvest time. Workers move through the plantation with practiced efficiency, cutting down entire bunches of bananas. These bunches, which can weigh up to 50 pounds each, are carefully loaded onto trucks for transport to the processing facility. Speed is of the essence here. The sooner the bananas reach the factory, the fresher they'll be for processing. As the trucks roll into the factory, the air becomes perfumed with the sweet aroma of ripe bananas. It's a scent that promises delicious things to come. They are then quickly unloaded, and the transformation from fruit to crispy chip begins. The first stop for our bananas is the quality control station. Here, trained workers inspect each bunch, removing any fruit that doesn't meet the strict standards for chip production. They're looking for bananas that are perfectly ripe and free from blemishes or damage. It's a crucial step. The quality of the raw fruit directly impacts the quality of the final chips.
What's next?
Next, the selected bananas move on to the washing station. Large rotating drums gently tumble the fruit in clean water, removing any dirt or debris from the plantation. Some facilities use sanitizing solutions in this step to ensure utmost cleanliness. Then it's time for the peeling process. In smaller operations, this might be done by hand, but large-scale producers use mechanical peelers to handle the volume. These ingenious machines can peel hundreds of bananas per minute. They work by gripping the banana and rapidly rotating it against a stationary blade, neatly removing the peel in one swift motion.
Amazing, isn't it?
The peeled bananas then ride on conveyor belts to the slicing station. Here, high-speed slicing machines cut the bananas into uniform pieces. The thickness of these slices is important. Too thick, and they won't crisp up properly. Too thin, and they'll burn during frying. Most producers aim for slices about 3-4 millimeters thick, which provides the perfect balance of crunch and banana flavor in the final product. At this point, we have thousands of perfect banana slices, but they're a long way from being the crispy chips we know and love. So the next step is the frying process. But before the slices hit the oil, many producers take an extra step to enhance the final product's quality. The banana slices are often soaked in a solution that might include water, salt, and sometimes preservatives like sodium metabisulfite. This soaking serves several purposes. It helps prevent the slices from browning, enhances their flavor, and can improve their texture after frying. After their flavor-enhancing bath, the banana slices are ready for frying. Industrial-sized fryers filled with thousands of liters of vegetable oil await our banana slices. The oil is carefully maintained at a precise temperature, usually around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 Celsius, to ensure consistent cooking. The banana slices are fed into the fryers on a continuous conveyor system. As they enter the hot oil, a fantastic transformation occurs. The water in the banana slices rapidly evaporates, creating tiny pockets of air throughout the slice. At the same time, the natural sugars in the banana caramelize, creating that distinctive golden color and enhancing the flavor. It's like watching thousands of tiny alchemical reactions happening simultaneously. The frying process is carefully timed. Too short, and the chips will be soggy and unappealing. Too long, and they'll burn. Most banana chips fry for about 2 to 3 minutes, but the exact time can vary based on the thickness of the slices and the specific recipe being used. As the now golden chips emerge from the fryer, they're met with another conveyor system. But this one has a special job. It's designed to shake off excess oil and begin the cooling process. Some producers use centrifugal systems at this stage, rapidly spinning the chips to remove even more oil. While the chips are cooling, they undergo another transformation. The residual heat causes any remaining moisture to evaporate, further crisping the chips. It's during this stage that the chips develop their signature crunch. But we're not done yet.
Not yet.
Once cooled, the chips move on to the seasoning station. While some banana chips are left plain, many are enhanced with additional flavors. Salt is a common addition, but you might also see sweet versions coated with sugar or cinnamon, or savory varieties seasoned with spices like chili or barbecue flavoring. The chips pass through a tumbling drum where precisely measured amounts of seasoning are added. As the drum rotates, it ensures that each chip is evenly coated with flavor. Now that our chips are fried, cooled, and seasoned to perfection, it's time for packaging. First, the chips are weighed out into precise portions. High-speed scales ensure that each package contains exactly the right amount of chips. Not a chip more, not a chip less. The chips are then dropped into preformed bags or fed into machines that form bags around them. As the bags are filled, they pass through a series of sensors that check for metal contaminants, an important food safety step. Any bag that doesn't pass muster is automatically rejected from the line. The filled bags then move to the sealing station. Here, heat sealers close each bag, often simultaneously adding the best buy date and batch code. It's a blink and you'll miss it operation, with each seal taking just a fraction of a second. But even at this late stage, quality control doesn't stop. Random bags are pulled from the line for testing. These are checked for everything from weight accuracy to seal integrity and taste and texture. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. The approved bags of banana chips are then packed into larger boxes or crates, ready for distribution. From here, they'll make their way to supermarkets, convenience stores, and snack aisles around the world. The journey begins in the potato fields. But not just any potato will do for McDonald's. They're super picky about their spuds. McDonald's mainly uses russet Burbank potatoes. These oblong-shaped potatoes are perfect for those long, iconic fries we all know and love. But here's a fun fact. Depending on the season and location, they might mix in other varieties like Shepherdie or Caribou Russet to keep the quality consistent year-round. Farmers grow these potatoes in various regions, but a big chunk comes from states like Idaho, Washington, and Maine. These areas have the ideal soil and climate to grow potatoes that meet McDonald's strict standards. The combination of rich, volcanic soil, warm days, and cool nights in these regions helps produce potatoes with the perfect balance of starch and sugar. Once the potatoes are harvested, they go through a rigorous inspection process. Workers check for any green potatoes, which can taste bitter, or those with too many blemishes. Now that we've got our perfect potatoes, it's time to get them squeaky clean. The potatoes take a trip through huge washing machines that scrub away dirt and debris. These machines use a combination of water jets and rotating brushes to ensure every nook and cranny of the potato is cleaned. This thorough washing ensures hygiene and removes any residual soil that could affect the taste or texture of the final product. Once they're clean, giant machines peel the potatoes using steam and pressure. This method is super efficient and helps reduce waste. The potatoes are subjected to bursts of steam that loosen the skin, and then the pressure difference causes the skin to separate from the potato flesh. But don't worry, the peels don't go to waste. They're often used for animal feed or compost. In fact, McDonald's has been working on initiatives to reduce food waste, and finding uses for potato peels is just one part of that effort. Some factories even use the peels to create biogas, turning what would be waste into energy. Here comes the exciting part, turning whole potatoes into those perfect fry shapes we all know and love. The peeled potatoes are shot through water guns at incredibly high speeds. We're talking about 60 to 70 miles per hour. They fly through a grid of sharp blades that slice them into the classic fry shape. It happens so fast you'd miss it if you blinked. This high-speed water knife system isn't just for show, it serves several important purposes. First, the water helps lubricate the cutting process, allowing for cleaner cuts and reducing damage to the potato cells. This helps maintain the integrity of the fry, contributing to that perfect texture we all love. Second, the speed and precision of this method ensure uniformity in the fry's size and shape. But why does the shape matter so much? Well, the long, rectangular shape of McDonald's fries isn't just about looks. This shape maximizes the surface area that gets crispy during frying while maintaining a soft, fluffy interior. At this point, our potatoes are starting to look like fries. But we're not done yet. Not even close. Potatoes naturally contain sugar, and too much sugar can make fries brown too quickly when they're fried, leaving them looking burnt even when they're not fully cooked. To solve this, the cut potatoes go through a process called blanching. They're bathed in hot water for a bit, which removes excess sugar and helps prevent our fries from browning too fast later on. During blanching, the cut potatoes are immersed in hot water for a precise amount of time. This process does more than just remove sugar. It also deactivates enzymes that could cause the potatoes to discolor. Plus, it helps to remove some of the surface starch, which contributes to that crispy exterior we all love. The temperature and duration of the blanching process are carefully controlled. Too short, and the excess sugars won't be removed properly. Too long, and the fries could become mushy. It's all about finding that perfect balance to set the stage for the perfect fry. But the benefits of blanching don't stop there. This process also helps to standardize the moisture content of the potatoes. McDonald's ensures that all their fries start with a similar moisture level, which is important for consistency. After their hot bath, our fry-shaped potatoes need to dry off. They go through giant dryers that remove all that excess moisture. As we all know, water and hot oil don't mix well. These aren't your average hair dryers, though. The industrial dryers used in this process use carefully controlled heat and airflow to remove surface moisture without cooking the potatoes. Once they're nice and dry, it's time for their first fry. Yep, you heard that right, first fry. McDonald's fries actually get fried twice. The fries are partially cooked in vegetable oil for about 50 seconds. This first fry is super important. It cooks the inside of the fry and creates that fluffy interior we all love. But what does this first fry do? Well, this par frying, that's chef speak for partial frying, does a few important things. First, it starts the cooking process, gelatinizing the starches in the potato. This is what gives the fry its soft, fluffy interior. Second, it forms a thin outer layer that will eventually become our crispy exterior. And lastly, it removes even more moisture from the potato. The oil used in this stage is a blend specially formulated for McDonald's. It's designed to withstand high temperatures without breaking down. But wait, aren't the fries we get at McDonald's fully cooked? Hold on, we're not done yet. Right after their first fry, when they're still piping hot, the fries go to the flash freezer. The partially cooked fries are quickly frozen at super low temperatures, as low as -39 degrees Celsius, -38 degrees Fahrenheit. This rapid freezing helps lock in that perfect texture and flavor. But why freeze them at all? Wouldn't it be easier to just finish cooking them and ship them out? Well, there are a few good reasons for this chilly interlude. First, flash freezing helps prevent the formation of large ice crystals in the potato cells. Large ice crystals can rupture cell walls, leading to a mushy texture when the fries are finally cooked. Second, freezing allows McDonald's to ship these par-cooked fries all over the world without them spoiling. This is a big part of how McDonald's maintains consistency across its global operations. And third, the freezing process actually contributes to that crispy exterior we all love. When the fries are finally cooked at the restaurant, the rapid thawing and cooking creates a contrast between the already cooked interior and the outer layer, resulting in that perfect, crispy, fluffy combination. This flash freezing is why McDonald's fries can be shipped all over the world and still taste the same whether you're in New York, Tokyo, or London. The frozen fries are packaged in those big boxes you might have seen being delivered to McDonald's restaurants. Each box is carefully labeled with all the important info: what's inside, when it was made, and where it needs to go. These aren't just any old cardboard boxes, though. They're specially designed to keep the fries at the perfect temperature during shipping and storage. The packaging process is fully automated to ensure efficiency and minimize handling. Machines weigh out precise amounts of fries and pack them into the boxes, which are then sealed and labeled. This automation helps maintain consistency and hygiene standards. These boxes are then loaded onto refrigerated trucks to keep them nice and frosty during their journey. All right, we've made it to the McDonald's restaurant. This is where the magic finally happens. When an order comes in, a worker grabs a portion of frozen fries and drops them into the fryer. This is that second fry we mentioned earlier. But it's not just any old fryer. McDonald's uses special fryers designed specifically for their fries. The fries are cooked in vegetable oil for about 3 minutes at 168 degrees Celsius. That's 335 degrees Fahrenheit. This second fry is what gives McDonald's fries that iconic golden color and crispy exterior. The high temperature causes the water in the fries to rapidly evaporate, creating that crispy shell, while the interior stays soft and fluffy thanks to the par frying process. As soon as the fries come out of the fryer, they're given a generous sprinkle of salt, a special blend that McDonald's uses to give their fries that classic taste we all know and love. The salt is applied while the fries are still hot so it sticks better. Then, the fries are scooped into those familiar red boxes and they're ready to be served.